my confession. I'm going to be as vulnerable and honest about this as I possibly can because I know it will help you, even though it is challenging for me, but you will get this. I say to all my clients, and you know this, that we all come into the world to offer something. We have gifts, we have talents, we have abilities, but we don't always accept them, we don't believe them. It seems that everybody else has them other than us. And I tell my clients that all the time, and that there's something within you, and if you would just work on it and bring it out, you would be so happy because you came with a purpose, something to offer the world, and if you just do that, everything would be okay. I've said that for so many years. I've talked about it, I've created things, and I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it because it was too bizarre. It was too bizarre. How could that be me? You know, that's what my clients usually think. How could it be me who created something that's wonderful? How could I have some talent that could make a difference in the world? How could that be? That's a question we're always asking, because as long as we're alive, we're going to evolve. It doesn't matter how old you are, none of that matters. There's always more to understand. And I started thinking about, well, wait a minute, why am I so understanding and calm as all of this is going on in our world? Why have I been that way for the last several years? Why have I been that way for the last several years of my life, especially those of you who know how much trauma I had, how many challenges and difficulties? How could that have happened? And then I started talking to you about my program, Your Life Operating Instructions. And I thought, well, they're not going to believe that. How could that have happened? How could I have created something that was going to help people move through this period, this transition in our world? And where did that come from? And how could I believe that I was given it in 2012? How could I possibly believe that and tell anyone else? Well, that's exactly what happened. And then the other day, I put out a video, I put up a broadcast. I said, you might have a masterpiece and don't know it. That was me. I didn't know it. And I'll tell you the story because sometimes your revelations, and there are going to be many of them coming up, probably for you because of where we are, what's happening in the world. That's what goes on. We start to uncover things we put away a long time ago. But mine was really pretty shocking because I didn't know what I had. Just like I tell my clients, even in my program, I have people go in and look at what they've done and start to assess their worth, that accumulated worth just from what they've lived, just from the information, the wisdom, because that's valuable. When you can give wisdom to someone coming along, saves them time. They don't have to go through what you went through. I say that all the time. And I'm the one who didn't believe it. And so the other day, I pulled out an old message. I talked a little bit about this, and I looked at it and I go, wow, that is really brilliant. Where did it come from? How did that come through me? I didn't understand this at all. Why? And I don't understand why I wrote it. It came through years ago, and I didn't see it. I didn't put any value on it. And the other day I was guided. I thought, okay, let's look at a couple of things. And I looked at Goethe, and I thought, that's really fascinating. Why am I looking at that? And it just kept leading me on down this road. And then I discovered the Hermetic principles. Now, I've never studied any of that. Many of you know I've never studied a lot of things. I mean, reading, because I didn't do that. My ADHD then it wasn't an enjoyable thing. So I didn't study a lot of things. So I spent years watching people speak, and these scholars talk about everything. And I thought, well, I couldn't do that. That's just because I don't have that ability. I didn't study like them. I didn't go to college and get what they had. So I couldn't possibly be that person who could have come up with something that was really brilliant. And this is something that I have struggled with my entire life. And I'm saying this because this is the part that's vulnerable, and I want you to understand it. But I have known this for a long time, but I couldn't move into acceptance. Let me just read this couple lines. This is from 1989 that I received this. Yes, it is indeed wise for you to realize how powerful you are, and also to acknowledge the innate benevolence of your being. I've always had that, and it seemed weird, because why do I have that? That I am just this benevolent person who has to give and do all of that, but it didn't seem right. Couldn't understand it. You seem to consistently maintain a subtle fear that somehow you would use your power in an ego-oriented way to the detriment of others. The truth for you is exactly the opposite. For the more you gain, you give away. And then they talked about my anger, because my anger was always about me realizing this, but not allowing myself to move in that direction. So I thought about it today and I go, could this have happened? And then I said, yeah, it did. I channeled something. I channeled a philosophy. I channeled a program, however you want to go. It is something that gives people the ability to come out knowing who they are, feeling calm and confident and all of those things. And I didn't know it. I did not know it. When I put the program together, I did it. I followed the instructions and put it together. And if you remember, if any of you have heard this story, when I first had people try it back in December, I said, I don't know. I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to doubt it. I'm just going to see what happens. And then I saw what they were doing. I saw the first week. I didn't do that. I actually waited till the last night. I didn't see their assignments every day, but I waited till the last night and I saw their assignments and I go, how is this happening? How are these people moving through so much, so quickly that I didn't do? I mean, I can look at that and I can think back 30, 40 years when I'm going to therapy, I'm studying things, I'm taking courses. And it took me a while to break through my resistance, to see who I am and get through my fear, my doubt, and my lack of confidence, low self-esteem. All those things took years, decades. I'm seeing people now with the work that I had given them just doing it so quickly. And I'm like, how did that happen? It happened because it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I channeled it. And that was the part that was so challenging to accept and to try to explain, but I channeled it. And I'm not the only one. There's many people who've done this. It was just, how could I accept it for me? That's what you do too. I see this and I say this with all my clients. I'm the last one to see it. And that's why I couldn't put value on it before, because I didn't know. I went back and I started looking and I go, this is a gold mine. It is worth so much. Because if you've struggled in your life, if you've gone through things that you've doubted, you felt you didn't have any purpose in the world, you struggled with fear and insecurity, low self-esteem, no love, all of those things. Well, yeah, that was me. I mean, I could do, and so then I have something and I'm sitting here today going, wow, I don't have any of that. I didn't understand it. When I looked up the other day, this was just everything. My entire life started showing up in front of me and it made sense. I've been doing this for 34 years. I've put 34 years of gained wisdom into something and I'm just giving it away for nothing because I didn't know I had done it. I didn't know I had created that. I had to go today even and look at all the channeled works, brilliant works that have been created. I mean, like I looked at one page, 65 different works that were done, channeled in the way that I received it. But I couldn't accept that because I grew up at a time where that was not okay. And I grew up in a really restrictive kind of society where this kind of stuff couldn't possibly happen. But it did. And I have to accept that. There's a process when you, as you're evolving, as you discover more of yourself, everyone does this, where you have to become comfortable with that new discovery so that you can embody it. And that's what I had to do. And I can't tell you how thrilling it was when I saw, wait a minute, everything that I had doubted, or I didn't know where it was coming from, I was channeling it. And it was all the information. There's so much in there, and I'll go through it at another point, because I also was revealed to me why this worked, and I've talked about this a little bit, but it was all these other people that I had, these great leaders and scientists and people who have come before, and I put all that in the program, but it was beyond that. I had this memory, and I've talked about this. It came out in different readings. People told me I have this ancient memory, and I couldn't put any value on that. I couldn't understand that, and I resisted it forever. And this is a new time, because this is the restructuring. We're creating something new. So obviously, it had to be restructured within me. I had to be different, just as everyone else is moving through that. But what I see, and I have this vision that I can see what's happening in the world and what we need to do to change things, and that is me getting out of the way and really helping more people. That's what I'm doing. And I just wanted to say this because it was, I spent a couple days being really kind of freaked out. There was one day, if you noticed, I didn't even put out my daily message, because I had to come to terms with this. I had to recognize what I had and the value of it. I mean, I'm holding something in my hands, and that I've taken me 34 years to do it, obviously, but I've created something that I'm looking at and go, wait a minute, this, if I can give this out to the world, it would actually cause me to be happy, successful, and to retire and do all the things I wanted to do. Yeah. And again, it's that acceptance, and all I had to do is tell people exactly what it was. But I couldn't know that before. What I know now, because I had to go back and look at it myself. I don't know if you understand that when I receive information, it is not there right away. I have to go back and look, just like you do. It's just I'm channeling textbooks. Let's just put it that way. And so I have to go back and study it myself for it to be accepted. And that was the part that was challenging for me, because it's this thing that no one can it's not tangible, so it's difficult. However, it works. That's all I can say. I'm doing a channeling session tomorrow. I'd love for you to come to that. I know there's more that's coming through, because there's a lot happening in the world, and so much information is coming through, and you will feel better if you understand it on a completely different level, and I have the ability to bring that through. And then what I'm going to do, I talked to my partner. We're going to leave. I'm going to give everyone a little discount on the program if they want to come in by Sunday, just by Sunday, because after that I'm moving things and really building it into a new place, so it's going to take some time. However, I would love for you to come in at the rate that it is. We'll give you a discount. You'll see by Sunday. You're going to have a discount on it when you go there. However, after that, it's going to be changed, because I really have to take this to, now that I understand what I have, I've got to take it to a bigger level. When I work with my clients, that's the place I want you to reach, where you start to recognize, wait a minute, I've got something and it's really valuable. I'm no longer going to deny it. I'm going to own it. I'm going to go out and I'm going to make my life successful. I'm going to manifest this really successful life, because I've now accepted who I am. And that's every single person. And that is what my program does. So, I know you'll get something out of this, but if you come to the channeling, please, you can register, even if you can't show up in person. I know times get really crazy, but register, because we're going through a period in our world where this is going to help you understand what's happening. And actually, if you decide to do something with yourself, you'll actually help change things. You'll actually help heal the world if you take care of yourself. Invest in you. All right, you guys, I'll see you soon.